Okay, new idea here. In the meantime, since I recorded that last one, I've gone and I've done something different. Here, we're going to start over. I want to keep kind of a similar configuration to what I was doing before, but I've got a new, an idea for a new method of testing this thing. First of all, let's get my nose cone on there with its SAS. Let's put another nose cone on there. It might be almost kind of a non-Kerbal idea, sort of, but what I want to do is I want to first, I want to make certain that my launch vehicle is going to function as an airplane, and then I'm going to go and see if it'll actually launch and take off, how much weight it can lift. To that end, I went in, I edited a bunch of config files, which is, the easiest, cheapest, simplest way of creating new parts. And what I have here is, this is exactly the same part that I was using, but it's empty. I'm going to test this thing as an airplane first. Here we go. Hang on. Let's do it this way. So first, we'll make a functional airplane. I'll test the part where it needs to come back into Kerbin's atmosphere and it needs to land. And then after that point, let's see, push that back as farther back as it'll go. Then after that, I'll actually swap it out for the real parts, and we'll try it. We'll test it out as a rocket. That's the plan. Okay, so let's do some building here. Okay, where'd my jet fuel tanks go? I've got kind of, I'm not doing exactly the same configuration as before, but I've got an idea, something that'll be similar, very, very similar. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, strut the hell out of that thing. Yep, it looks to me like that works. Alright, turn that symmetry off. Let's put a vertical stabilizer on this thing, huh? Wow. Actually, I'll hold off on those RCS ports until I see what the rest of the fuselage ends up looking like. Okay, so there's the main lifting power, but I'm thinking back, the original Grunt 45, I had more lift, I had a bunch more boosters on there, so I'm thinking we're actually going to add some more. Let me see, let's get, okay, first of all, I'll have to look at it this way. I think it was these little, was it the 4? I think it was the 4. Those. That's right. If I remember right, I started out with, or did I use these 6? Oh no, I used these guys. That's right, because they're curved up at the top to match in. Okay, that's right. The 5-M. Yeah, okay. I had to stop and think for a second. 5-M empty. Yeah, and we see we still have slightly more thrust up above than below. I think that's good, because we'll have slightly more mass above than below. That might be a little bit too much. I don't know. We'll try it. It can be adjusted later. Okay, let's strut those things down. See, these struts, if I'm putting them here, the theory is that they don't actually have to take the full weight of the entire structure. They just have to keep things from wobbling side to side. They're there to just to give it rigidity, give it some stiffness. Okay, I'm liking the looks of that. Okay, so there's our main propulsion for getting into space. Let me see, I also need my jet engines on there. So I'm thinking that this vehicle, it really needs to be smaller than the original Grunt 45, because that was just ridiculous. I made that one too big. This one, we'll try to be as minimal as I can get away with. I'm full aware that these pieces are non-functional. Adding these pieces on here, it's actually all that accomplishes is it adds drag and it adds weight to the vehicle as it exists currently. But they look cool, and I kind of want to get in the habit of, oh, what's this? What the hell's that thing doing there? I want to get in the habit of, what the hell is that thing doing there? Using the engine, the intake pieces, and various things like that. So, because I know that eventually they will be functional. Huh. Okay. Can I get rid of that? Here, let's try it this way. Let me see. This is the new Grunt Provisional. Empty. Here, we'll do it, and I'll call it Grunt Empty. Is what I will call it. Let's just exit out of here and get back in, because that piece is bothering me. Yep. And just to be extra certain, let's load Grunt Empty. Okay, that works. Let me see. Okay, now let's strut. I've learned a few things in the time playing Kerbal Space Program. I'm no longer wait until everything wobbles around and breaks apart into 1,000 pieces to strut things. I figure it's a whole lot easier just to... Why don't you strut them to begin with? Why go through all the rigmarole of watching it wobble and then decide to strut it? Here we go. Oh, hell, but I went and forgot to turn the symmetry on. Here I am talking myself up like in this old wise old hand. Salty dog. Kerbal Space Program. Alright, hang on. Do I want to go ahead and try and put some rocket engines on here, or am I just going to hold off? Let's hold off on that. Let's just not do that. Okay, so now's the time I need to start putting some consideration to wings, flight control surfaces, and landing gear. Because, okay, I could make it a tail. I like the idea of making another tail dragger. I think I've got an idea. I think I do. I could be wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong. And now the wings. Now, because I'm going to try to get away with not having those heavy rocket fuel tanks or rocket engines, my center of mass is not going to be quite as far back as it was in those others. On the first Grunt Provisional. Maybe I can get away with having the shorter canards. Yeah, put this right here. That will be our main wing. I wonder if maybe I need to push these solid rocket boosters forward a little bit. We got these bells, engine bells clipping back there. Yeah, let's push that whole assembly forward a little bit. Let's angle this wing down a little bit further. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Okay, let's go. And let me see. That's going to take a whole bunch of weight. Well, actually, no, this thing's going to be... Remember, I'm not going to be landing the thing when it's full, when it's heavy, so... let's go with those medium strength struts. Yeah, I know that the original Grunt 45 had just ridiculous amount of wings just stacked all over the damn place. I'm thinking that maybe this one won't. I'll see. I'm going to see if how little wing I can get away with on this thing and still have it be fully controllable and landable. Okay, these guys here. Whoops, flap. It's flapping like a bird. Okay, there it is. Even. Stop that. Okay, well, let me see. I'm just looking, thinking that might be too far back. I'm thinking about where I want to put the landing gear. I suppose I could go with a nose wheel configuration instead. Yeah, that's probably the better option. Hang on. And that'll solve that other problem. Here we go. And I know that'll drive some people nuts who say, no, you can't have the landing gear fold up that way. Well, you know, some real airplanes do, and I think it looks cool, so there. In order to get the control surfaces on there, let me just set those aside for 1 second. You can just set, that's not where they're going to stay. I just put them there so I can put the control surfaces on. How about these? That's, I keep on turning them the wrong direction. There we go. Still thinking maybe I could have used those canards a little bit more distance away from the center of gravity, but... Okay, we got some dihedral on there. Always like some dihedral. I kind of like the looks of it. Alright, let's do some more of those medium strength struts. I'm liking the looks of it. Much more compact. I wonder if it may not be enough wing for as much mass as I have, but we'll try it out. We'll find out, you know. On the other hand, it should be much more lightweight than the original Grunt 45. Put some more wheels on it. That looks to me like that works. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Grunt, empty, save. And let me see, we got just one stage. Am I forgetting any? Well, okay, I'm not going to do the not going to worry about the RCS ports right now because I'm just going to practice flying it as an airplane at this moment. And then we might go and rebuild it as the actual launch vehicle. Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's try it. Clear the runway and proceed. Sable, Miguel, and wait a second. And all the damn struts broke. Why do they do that? I mean, the vehicle looks intact. Okay. And flight. And flight. There's nothing on flight events. Why did the struts break? That's the question. I thought I got rid of all the dodgy mods that were causing problems. It didn't tell me why anything broke. Let me see here. All my struts are still connected, it looks like. Yes, they are. Landing gear still kind of pigeon-toed. Oh well. I'm very confused. Why did that just happen? Well, I can't do the trick. I can't take this one to the launch pad because it's not going to take off vertically. These are just dummy. These are empty, lightweight, empty, dummy solid rocket boosters. I don't. Could it be this thing causing problems? Let's just try something. That thing was causing, because I had my nose cone turned into an SAS on that other one, and it seemed to be a source of many problems. Let's just try this. Of course, now it has no SAS. That's a problem we can resolve when we come to it. Save. Let's launch. Grunt. Empty debris. And it breaks. What the hell? Look at that nose cone wobble on there. Why is the thing wobbling? It looks like it should work. And no flight events to tell me why it broke. Oh, that is frustrating.